Why should you hire a lawyer for a DUI? Well, the answer is simple. It's the consequences. I mean, every state has different penalties, but what's common in all states is the penalties are getting harsher and harsher each year. Most states, this is a gross misdemeanor, which means you'd serve up to 1 year in jail and pay up to a $5,000 fine. In Washington state, that's exactly the max penalty, 1 year in jail and a $5,000 fine. And just because you think this is your first time, the courts are going to go light on you, that's really not the case. Washington has a mandatory minimum statute where everyone has to serve at least 1 day in jail, maybe 2 days, depending on how high your breath result was or if you refused the test. More so, there's licensing ramifications. A lot of states, they'll make you serve at least 2 weeks of a license suspension with an ignition interlock. That's the blower device. Many states, they'll make you serve at least 1 whole year with a license suspension with a 1 year ignition interlock requirement. In Washington state, first-time offenders, they serve maybe only a 90-day license suspension. If you refused in Washington the test, that's a 1 year license suspension. The ignition interlock in Washington state, where I practice, is 1 whole year. So those consequences are pretty dire. Not only are you looking at a criminal record, but you're also looking at the social ridicule of your friends and family getting into your car, seeing you for a whole year blowing into that machine and wondering what all this is about. Nobody wants to be labeled a drunk driver. Drunk drivers just are ostracized in society, and unfairly. Nobody wants to drink and drive. Everyone that gets into a car, most people, they know that it's a mistake, and they wouldn't have done it if they thought they were in fact intoxicated. And it's just a horrible mistake. It's just a person that did not realize that they were making the wrong choice of consuming X amount of beers and getting into a vehicle. And a good lawyer, we know what the issues are. We know what mistakes the police make. The police are not infallible. They make mistakes all the time on DUIs. It's about finding what issues work, which issues don't, knowing the judges, knowing the prosecutors. Not every issue works in front of the same judge. Not every prosecutor cares about a certain argument, though a good DUI lawyer has gone to court time and time again, has tried these issues out, know which ones work, which ones don't, and will get you the result and best outcome in your case, because nobody wants a conviction. Nobody wants to go to jail over this, and I think a lot of people hate that insurance increase, and they don't want to see their friends and family judge them for having that DUI and you blowing into that ignition interlock device when they get into your car. Well, the first step that they should take is call a lawyer right away, because there's a lot of things that get triggered under statute. In Washington state, if you do not request a Department of Licensing hearing within 20 days, your license gets automatically suspended. And that's whether you call the lawyer or not. So you would not want to be in the position where you just kind of blew the case off for 14 days, did absolutely nothing, and then suddenly you find out you have 5 days to figure out what to do with the application, or your license is suspended. That's the same thing with the hearing subpoena for when you have to go to criminal court. Those come quick. In 2 weeks, you'll have a notice in the mail, a summons to come to court, and you just want to be absolutely prepared. I would say contacting a lawyer would be the first thing, so you know what to expect ahead on your case. The other thing you should do is don't talk to law enforcement any further. Oftentimes, they might follow up, especially if there's an accident, wanting to know more about the facts of your case. Remember, this is a criminal charge. The Constitution gives you the right to remain silent. You should exercise that right. It doesn't mean be rude to the officer and say, no, I don't want to talk to you. It means you saying, sir, I kindly decline giving any further statement because I don't want this to be any worse on myself. And if you could please respect that, that'd be much appreciated. And that's how you interface with an officer appropriately.